In the farthest reaches of time, long after stars have dimmed and galaxies have scattered, a deeper silence waits. Not the hush of space as we know it, but an erasure more complete. Imagine the very bricks of existence, the atoms in your breath, the iron in your blood, the carbon in every leaf slowly unraveling. Bonds that once stitched matter together will weaken until protons themselves flicker and fade like dying embers. What remains when even permanence surrenders? Picture a universe without structure, where the memory of mountains, oceans, and suns dissolves into a sea of nothing. This is the destiny written not in centuries or millennia, but across inconceivable stretches of time, longer than the age of all stars combined. It is the final silence when matter itself grows weary and lets go. Tonight, we trace that cosmic unraveling, from the fragile stability of the atom to the fading echoes of reality itself. Come with us as we follow the story of the universe to its last breath and beyond. The universe hums with a silence so vast that even light seems like a fleeting whisper against it. Yet this silence is not the end. It is only the pause before the deepest stillness imaginable. Picture it, every star extinguished, every galaxy stretched beyond recognition, until space itself grows thin and cold. What remains then is not the emptiness we know, but something far stranger, a silence so absolute it threatens to erase the very concept of existence. In this silence, time no longer feels like the steady march of days and years. Instead, it expands into gulfs so immense that words falter. 1,000,000,000,000 years pass like the blink of an eye. Entire eras dissolve into dust. And yet, the true unraveling has only just begun. For even when stars are gone, when black holes have faded, a deeper decay awaits. Atoms themselves, the very scaffolding of reality, are not eternal. They too may fracture, unravel, and vanish, leaving behind a universe with nothing left to remember itself by. It is a fate so distant it seems untouchable, and yet it is written into the mathematics of our cosmos. Tonight, we step across ages beyond imagination, into the cold horizon of forever, to glimpse the moment when even the last building blocks of matter surrender to silence. Across the span of human thought, we have always believed in permanence. Mountains seemed immovable, oceans appeared endless. Even the stars, though they rose and fell with the night, felt eternal in their glow. But the universe has never promised eternity. It only lends moments, stretched thin across an ocean of time. Look deeper, and permanence dissolves. Stars collapse into cinders. Black holes, once thought immortal, slowly leak their strength through the faint hiss of Hawking radiation. And beyond them lies a truth more unsettling. Matter itself is not forever. Protons, the hidden anchors within every atom, may one day break apart. Their lifespans counted not in billions, but in numbers, so vast they stagger the imagination. This is the stage on which our story unfolds, a cosmos where even the most fundamental bricks of reality are living on borrowed time. And as they weaken, so too does every memory of what once was, the planets, the stars, and the life that dared to ask why. To grasp what it means for atoms to decay, we must first step inside them. Every atom you see, whether in the air you breathe, the glass of a window, or the iron in your blood, is a tiny cathedral of forces. At its heart lies the nucleus, where protons and neutrons are bound by the strongest glue known in nature, the strong nuclear force. Around them, electrons whirl in invisible patterns, giving shape to the world we know. For most of cosmic history, this structure has seemed unshakable. The nucleus is so stable that stars have burned for billions of years by gently coaxing particles together, not watching them fall apart. To the human mind, it feels permanent, like the bedrock of reality itself. Yet, hidden beneath that illusion, physics tells another story. The proton, that stubborn core of every atom, may not be immortal. It may carry within it a ticking clock, counting down across unimaginable spans of time. And if that clock runs out, the unmaking of matter begins, not in fiery explosions, but in silence, as if reality itself is exhaling its last breath. The mechanism is almost invisible, unfolding on timescales so long they defy comprehension. If proton decay is real, a particle that has endured since the birth of the universe could one day simply dissolve, unraveling into lighter fragments like positrons and photons. No blast, no violence, just a whisper of disappearance. This possibility arises from the unification of forces, a dream physicists have chased for decades. In the earliest instance after the Big Bang, the strong, weak, and electromagnetic forces may have been one, bound in perfect symmetry. If that symmetry can be glimpsed again through theory, it predicts that protons are not truly eternal, but destined to fade. Experiments have listened for this decay in vast underground chambers filled with pure water, waiting for the faintest flash of light to betray the death of a proton. None have been seen yet, but the silence of those detectors does not mean safety. It only stretches the lifespan further, into numbers so large they blur into eternity. Imagine a universe stretched beyond recognition, where galaxies no longer cluster together, but drift apart into unreachable darkness. Stars are gone, black holes have evaporated, and all that remains are the remnants of matter, atoms scattered thinly across an endless night. At first glance, it may seem still, eternal, unchanging. But in the shadows, a deeper erosion continues. If protons decay, then over inconceivable stretches of time, every atom will eventually fall silent. Hydrogen, the simplest and most abundant element, will vanish. Carbon, the very backbone of life, will crumble. Even the heaviest metals forged in stellar furnaces will dissolve, leaving behind only faint traces of lighter particles racing through an empty cosmos. This slow unraveling is not an event, but a process, a cosmic whisper that endures long after every light has gone out. And with each proton's demise, the universe loses another fragment of memory, another possibility for form or structure. What remains when even the dust of stars has nowhere to cling? To glimpse the scale of this decay, we must step into timescales so immense they eclipse imagination. A single proton's half-life, if it truly decays, is not 1 billion years, nor 1 trillion, but perhaps a number so vast, it makes the age of our universe, just 13.8 billion years, look like a heartbeat. Picture a time span of 10 to the power of 34 years, a number written with 34 zeros trailing behind it. That is the measure of endurance we speak of. Across such epochs, universes are unmade not in fire, but in silence. There are no witnesses, no civilizations, no stars, no galaxies, only particles adrift in a darkness without boundary. Every rare flicker of proton decay is another thread, loosened from the tapestry of reality. Slowly, patiently, the weave comes undone. And in that unraveling lies a question more unsettling than the silence itself. If even matter forgets how to exist, what meaning can permanence ever truly hold? For humanity, this truth carries a strange duality. On one hand, the death of atoms lies so far beyond our reach that it feels almost irrelevant, an ending no living mind will ever see. Yet on the other, it reshapes how we understand our place in the cosmos. The mountains we believe eternal, the monuments we raise in stone, even the elements that form our bones, none are everlasting. They are only guests at the table of time, destined one day to vanish without a trace, and still, there is wonder in this fragility. That fleeting spark of stability gave rise to stars, to worlds, to the miracle of consciousness that now contemplates its own impermanence. It is because atoms endure for so long, though not forever, that life has been able to flourish in the thin window of cosmic possibility. But when that endurance runs out, when the scaffolding of reality itself begins to fail, what then remains of the story of existence? Push the thought further, and the universe transforms into something almost unrecognizable. As protons decay, the last traces of matter dissolve into streams of radiation, a faint haze drifting through a cosmos that has grown impossibly vast and cold. Galaxies no longer exist. Planets and stars have long since disappeared. What remains is a sea of near-nothingness, where particles rarely meet and silence is the only constant. It is here, in this stretched eternity, that the universe becomes a shadow of itself. No structures can form, no warmth can gather. The stage on which every drama of physics once played has collapsed into emptiness. Yet, even then, the clock does not stop. Time continues its relentless march forward, indifferent to the fact that there is almost nothing left to measure it by. And beyond that horizon of decay, a final question waits. Darker still, if even atoms surrender, does the universe itself still have a story left to tell? What follows is the most haunting vision of all. With no atoms, no stars, no galaxies, the universe becomes a dark ocean of fading radiation. Photons, the last survivors, stretch thinner and colder with every heartbeat of expansion until even they lose their strength. The cosmos drifts toward absolute zero, a place where motion itself becomes rare, where silence is not just the absence of sound, but the absence of being. Some call this the heat death of the universe, a final equilibrium where energy is too thinly spread to do anything at all. No fires can ignite, no thought can stir, no structure can rise again. It is the ultimate stillness, not by catastrophe, but by exhaustion. The cosmos has not been destroyed. It has simply grown weary and fallen asleep forever. And yet, as we imagine this ending, another mystery stirs. If reality can fade into silence, could it also awaken once more? Perhaps the greatest paradox of this journey is not that the universe ends, but that it ever began at all. From the fire of the Big Bang to the quiet death of atoms, existence itself has been a fragile miracle balanced on borrowed time. Every heartbeat, every star, every fleeting civilization, all were shaped by laws that now whisper toward silence. In that silence lies a reflection of our own mortality. We, too, are temporary, woven from particles that will one day fall apart. Yet within our brief span, we carry something extraordinary, the ability to see beyond ourselves, to trace the arc of reality from its first breath to its last, to witness the grandeur of a cosmos that creates and erases, that sings and falls quiet. And so, when even atoms decay, the universe may forget, but we, in this moment, remember. The final silence is not yet here. It waits at the horizon of eternity. Until then, we gaze into the dark, listening to the echoes of a story that will outlive us all.